Alright, welcome back to Lesson 51 of Saxon Algebra 1 3rd edition. And this lesson is going to be about graphs of linear equations. Now yesterday I mentioned linear equations, and I said a linear equation is one that forms a line when it is graphed. So for instance, this would be a linear equation because all the points are going to form a line. Alright, so when we graph, if we can make a table, we can have x values and y values, and then we put those in, we just pick any numbers, okay, and we put those in and then solve them to get what our points would be, okay. So here we've done, if x is -1, what is y? Alright, well, 2 times -1 is -2, and +1 would be, y would be +1. If x is 0, then that would, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3, so y would equal 3. And you can see so on and so forth how they get these ordered pair of points. And so that means that this is a linear equation. Alright, here we have two linear equations that are going to have a common solution, and that would be this dot right here where they cross. But you can see that they've done the same thing. They've made a table and they've plotted lots of points. You really don't have to do that. More than 3 points is really not too necessary. But in this equation, they pick, let's say they pick -1. -1 would be +1 plus 2. And you know what, this is not correct. I found this on the internet, and this is interesting. This should actually be 3 here, not 4. And you see here where this point is, they went over -1 from 0, -1, but then they went up 1, 2, 3. So that should be -1, 3. -1 would be -1, which would be +1 plus 2 is 3. But anyway, that's how you do that. You just choose, and I usually say choose 0, 1, and -1 because that's usually really easy to work with to solve the equations. And then you just plot your points, and then you draw your line. Alright, now sometimes we have horizontal lines that are straight and vertical lines that are straight. A vertical line is not going to touch y anywhere. So it is not going to be y equals. It is going to touch the x-axis. So in this case, this line, the formula for this line would be x equals 3. Okay? So, because that's where it touches the x-axis. In this one, y equals 4, it touches the y-axis right here at 4, and it is a straight line. Okay, it doesn't equal anything but 4. So those are very easy to graph. Alright, let's do your practice problems. And again, I said we're going to use -1, 0, and +1 as our variables for x. And then solve for y. Alright, if x is -1 or negative x, and I've chosen -1, then I've got -1, which is +1 plus 1, y would be 2. If x is 0, then it would just be 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1. And if it is 1, -1 plus 1 is 0. So let's graph that and form our line. Our 3 points would be, our 3 ordered pairs would be -1, 2, 0, 1, and 1, 0, and that's what we're going to plot. So let's do this one first. -1, we're going to go over 1 and up 2 and put our dot. 0 over 0 and up 1. would be right here. Put our dot right there. And over 1, but up 0 would be right there. And then we're just going to draw our line, and that connects it, and you can see that it is linear. Any point on that line would fit this equation. Alright, let's go to B. Alright, so in this one, I'm going to use 0. Second, I'm going to use 3 because I have a denominator of 3 here. And third, I'm going to use -3. Alright, so plugging in 0 right here, 0 times -1/3 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Alright, if I plug in a positive 3 here for x, -1/3 times positive 3 equals -1, and -1 plus 2 is going to give me positive 1. Alright, and then finally I chose -3. -3 times -1/3 gives me a positive 1, and positive 1 plus 2 is positive 3. So let's graph those. Here's our ordered pairs. We've got 0, 2, 3, 1, -3, positive 3. Alright, so over 0 and up 2 would put us right here. Over 3 to the right and up 1 would put us right here. And over 3 to the left but up 3 would put us right here. So this is our line, and we're just going to connect the dots, and that is a linear equation. Good job. I'll see you back tomorrow for lesson 52. Enjoy your day. Alright, let's do 2 more. C and D. X equals 3, and then Y equals -4. Alright, so we know that these are going to be straight lines. X is going to have touch on the x-axis, and it's going to touch right here, so it's going to be right here, and it will keep going forever. Y equals -4, so it's going to touch the y-axis right here, and it's going to keep going. A little sloppy, but you get the picture. Alright, good job. So this one is C, and this one is D. Good job. I'll see you tomorrow.